I want to talk to you about tea selling formats, how you can help your tea sales by having different formats, the pros and cons. Hello, it's Selena from Empiro. So, tea selling, of course, a lot of us would have visited tea shops, as we're doing researches on, setting up our tea business. There are two types of tea retail shops that are pretty typical. One is having the pre-packs, and the other one is having the tea scoop to order. They both have pros and cons. Let me start with the pre-pack version. So the pre-pack basically simply means that you pack everything in advance. And what that means is that you need to get some, if especially if this is a new business to you, make some educated guess to how much you're going to sell which tea, to how many packs you pack. And of course, there is also the trick of stock rotation. So making sure that when you pack new packs, put them at the back of your row of tea packs. So people always grabbing the one in the front, the oldest one first. And the good thing about this is it can service a lot of people at any given moment. And it's really easy, it's tidy. You don't have to worry about, if you're scooping tea in front of someone and you have just been, playing with papers and documents and whatnot. So the hygiene side of it is taken care of. And of course, there will be people going, well, I can't smell the tea. It's all packed up, I can't see it properly. So your solution is to have smelling jars. Just little jars of tea, best keep them covered, easy, lids, it can be opened easily. And it could be just, a couple teaspoonful of tea in that, or tablespoonful. People can actually, give it a smell, give it a shake, they're going to smell it, if they want to give it a bit of a stir, that kind of thing. They have that tactile feeling taken care of, that tactile experience. And I would suggest you to put these tins or jars onto a separate table, somewhere that there's enough space for the people traffic to go around it, that people can try them. So don't pile it all in one area, like, one small space. If you could maybe even have a round table. So what that means is that someone could be standing, on, one side and the other one on the opposite side. There's enough room for people to go around smelling all the different ones, because there are definitely a lot of people nowadays very keen trying different teas, but they just really haven't got the chance to experience them. So if you have jars and jars of them with some information, maybe a little sticky label on each of the jar, so they can see the ingredients, a little tasting note or whatnot, then that's going to help them to, to experience the tea, and often that will result in a sale. The other format, of course, is scoop to order. And there is a really nice yesteryear feeling to that. But the problem is, I personally really feel a bit twitchy about that from a hygiene perspective, because someone's going to come and say, can I have a smell of that? And you open a big tin and let them, shake and smell and whatnot. And just imagine, if that tea just happened to be the most popular one that people want to experience, you'll be opening and closing. So it's really not so hot on that one. So you can, of course, have that little smelling jar table again to compensate this request that people have in relation to experiencing the tea. But the scooping part of it is very labor intensive. So if you have a fairly busy shop, maybe you even need to make the tea for people as well. That's just going to be way too busy. You're going to be wanting to serve people making tea. You're going to want to scoop tea out for someone else. And there might be another someone who's waiting to pay for whatever they have already tried, and they want to just pay it and get going. And then you have another person who just really want to hang on to you and smell all 10 different types of tea. So this is a very labor-intensive format. So have a think about that, even though it is kind of nice. And someone may say, but that also give me the chance to mix tea for customers. Well, have a think about that, because that is even more labor intensive. Of course, if you have, a quieter shop, or you might just allow people to do it at a certain day, maybe even actually running workshop that let people actually have a play with the teas. mix their own tea, and you just pop, whatever they mix into a bag and for them to go away, charge it for, 49 or 99 bucks, for a couple of hours, give them some information to take away and so on. That might be okay, but yeah, just really having to think about how you can multi-purpose your space without having too much cost involved, because if it's labor intensive, it probably means that you can't just have one staff and you might need to have 3 staff and you, and some staff need to know tea pretty well to help mixing. So just have a think about that sort of stuff. Of course, there is the online stuff, and typically most of them basically buy the tea either packed already or in bulk bags, and when they get order in, they just go and send out the order accordingly. And there are also other methods such as affiliate and drop shipping. Drop shipping is something that we experimented last year. Essentially what that means is you have a website, you don't hold stock, and you just basically generating orders. So when an order comes in, you flick it over to whoever your tea supplier is and let them fulfill that and send that over to your customer. The difficulty with doing that, as we were experimenting, is how to personalize these items for you. The reason is that really the tea should have recall information and it should be yours because it's your customer. If we put our brand on it, it's not fair. So that's why we haven't really, gone down to doing that. And if you want to really plump up your tea sales, you need to think outside of the box, because a lot of people kind of thinking, well, tea is just tea. No, tea is a well-being product. Tea is a food. Tea can be, helping to generate conversations. I have customers who actually sell knitting stuff and they buy tea from us, or pottery studios. And, there are all these different ways that you can multi-purpose tea. So when you think about the format to sell tea, do think about, what are the tribes that you want to engage. If you have a lot of moms coming into your cafe and you have a retail space, you probably really want to sell some kitty teas, the pink tea like the hibiscus. That's going to help. And, just really look at the formats that you can actually present the tea, like tea as a well-being product and a well-being website. It's just a vehicle to, get to that well-being goal. So have a think about that and see if you can, bump up your tea sale by really engaging the people who walk in that you love to serve, and create a format that is going to make it convenient for them. So if you have any feedback, comments, feel free to connect with us using the contact us form in our website teas.com.au or imperialteas.com.au. And of course, you can also comment underneath this video blog as well. I'll catch you next time.